All right. Well, let's get going here. Gotta wait for people to come on in from Twitch. Just a couple of administrative things while I get ready. So, just a reminder: this is Zero to JupyterHub Learning Lab. It's very free form. It's not always on topic. Most of the time, it is. It goes really long. I think it'll last almost 4 hours. We're only going to go till 3 today. I have a meeting at 3, so it's only going to be 90 minutes or so. And the goal is to just discover some things based on requirements I have for work. This is on the clock, so I don't answer questions unless they're related to what we're doing here. And I go really fast. I've had people complain because I'm moving too fast for them to follow, and I'm sorry. I have to do that. So, but if you have other questions and stuff, tonight's the night. We do have an AMA tonight from 6 to 8 for beginners who want to answer specific questions. Otherwise, anytime I'm playing games online, you can just come on in and ask me questions about technology. You see me playing Witcher or Dota 2. You can come in anytime during that to just ask questions. The repo that I've been updating that has my log and any changes I've been making is in lab-k8s-02-2-JupyterHub in GitHub under Artifacts Rob, so you can go there and follow along and look at all the source code. There is a playlist called Zero to JupyterHub in my YouTube. You can go there. All of these sessions are recorded there, so that I can go back and remember what I did. You can go back and remember. It's really long. I don't recommend you just watch it from beginning to end unless you really don't have anything else to do, or else you're coding and you got that in the other window and you're tasked with doing something related to JupyterHub, which a lot of people are being asked to do these days. So with that introduction, I'm going to go ahead and jump in. Because I only have 90 minutes, I'm going to recap a little bit of the discoveries from last time, and we're going to proceed with setting the goals for today, and over today and tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow is I'm going to be probably streaming the whole day, so I'll have to figure out how to break that up. I can't do a full 6-hour period because it'll mess up YouTube's algorithm and stuff. So I probably will break it into 2-3 hour sessions tomorrow. 3 to 4 hour sessions. I'll be doing boost content in the morning, as I tend to do, and then there'll be an early morning JupyterHub session, and then there'll be an afternoon JupyterHub session. Truth of the matter is, I don't know if I'm even going to need all of the time. We're very close to wrapping up everything that I wanted to get out of JupyterHub and Kubernetes, and I'll be able to put this JupyterHub project to bed and start working on other projects. And I have a number of other internal projects that I won't be able to stream. I may be able to find some way to have a similar situation happening where it's a similar task, even though it's not the exact same task. We have another project going on to do auditing of our production applications and make sure they're all encapsulated into Helm charts and installers, so we can reach a gold SLA requirements and stuff like that. That's kind of all priority. So reaching gold SLA, and what kind of script should you have to do it, and how do you install a Helm chart when the Helm chart doesn't work, and those kinds of things are the kind of things I could probably stream and not get in too much conflict of interest with my work. But for now, it's JupyterHub. So let's go ahead and look at the log. So I did update the log yesterday to show our accomplishments. We made a number of huge accomplishments yesterday. Thanks in no small part to the people who have been, hey, welcome, Portia, to the people who have been contributing and participating in this effort. It was a member of the live stream who suggested, why not just pass image into the profile field, which is locked down according to the source code based on what I believe is a bug, but I'm not willing to go write it. But if you want to read all about the bug and the limitation, you can go to these locations and see what the problem is. So to recap, last time we got our cluster to work. It was start up our Minikube cluster that's running JupyterHub and let that run. We got it to run, but not only that, we got it to take in input from the user, so that the user can provide the image name, which is generally not a good idea in my opinion, but that's what's required of our system. We did some experimentation, and then it wasn't passing the form data to the configuration file, and we're like, what is up with this? It says right here it's going to do it, and then that's when we found the bug, and somebody suggested a workaround because it's limiting. It only has one field that it passes from the form, even though the documentation says you can put whatever you want in there. It's actually a lie. So it can, the only thing you can pass successfully, as far as we know at this moment, is profile, the field profile, which means that we only have one field to pass. So I'm going to tell you right now, the goal for today is going to be expanding the form template, expanding the HTML form, adding JavaScript. Yep, I'm going to be writing some JavaScript today. You can all laugh. Why? To expanding the HTML forms for profile, right? So we got to make it cleaner. Right now it's kind of ugly. And then we want to add in some other stuff, right? So we want to add concept of resource profiles, and we're going to call it resource profiles, which are already there. And these are going to be things like, I took some notes here. They're going to be things like, let me check. So these are HPC sorts of things. So CPU, so cores, RAM, GPUs, and GPU type. So, and we already have the images, right? So the resource profiles are going to be sort of pre-selections of these things. We can play around with the template about how we want to do it. Waited for JavaScript. I don't like code very good JavaScript, so don't count on that. So the JavaScript is going to be related to putting all this stuff together. So we're going to play around with the idea of a resource profile and see, like, you know, to each writing something that is totally obsolete. Oh, obsolete. Whoops. What happens if the form field has a typo? Will it just say it can't pull the image? Yeah. So that's another thing. We need to add a profile. Let's see, a validation. We need to add, and we can add validation to the JavaScript, but we should also add validation. So add validation to form and to the back end, to the cube spawner, right? We have to add validation to the cube spawner, otherwise it's no good. People who do validation only on the front end and not on the back end are going to get hacked. It's just a matter of time. So we're going to do that. Resource profiles. Let's see. Let's do this. Consider concept of resource profiles. Expanding HTML form. So we need to add validation, add image validation, right? Name validation to the form. To the concept of resource profiles. And then we need to add cores, RAM, GPU type as resource parameters. Now here's where it's going to get interesting. So we're going to need to cram, and cram's not the right word. Protobuf and UIDs. Oh God, Protobuf is awesome, isn't it? So we need to do this. We need to add. This is my approach to this. So I think what we should do is we should combine. So we need to write a function, add function to combine all form. I hate that we have to do this. Yeah, I think you know what I'm going to say if you've been following. Combine all form data into profile string value. The only thing that apparently we can pass is profile. Now, maybe we're going to discover that that's not true in this process, and I hope we do. But even if we don't, we have successfully transferred data from the form into the configuration by way of a field called profile. So that means we need to combine all of these resources and image name and everything else. I mean, we already, by putting the image name is there instead of the name of the profile, we're already kind of violating its original intent, but who cares, right? Because we're able to pass all of that in. Now, because we're able to parse that data that's coming out of there, we can actually set other characteristics of the spawner by passing that information in. Now, and that means that we could have image name. We could use a query string format, which combines a bunch of key equals value pairs, and then puts a comma in between them, and passes the whole thing as a single string, which doesn't have to be in any particular order. If we wanted to, we could make them, positional and then pass them all. Actually, if we pass them all in a positional way, we can actually cheat, and we could make we can have all of the values be the same thing as core, and then it would come in as an array. But I don't think that's a good idea. I think we want to have the key value pairs. So we're going to look for item number 0 of the profile field coming in the post form data, and we're going to parse that apart as query string data into its respective key value pairs, and then those key value pairs will become the values that will be set in the spawner. So, I mean, if you've not been following, that's going to sound like a lot of Greek, but that's what we're doing. So let's go ahead and open, just to give you a sense of this. So we should probably have, so here's our server options. You see, we just have this one field, right? And if we want a base notebook, we have to type in base notebook. This is the profile field I was talking about. If you inspect here, you'll see that we have one input named profile, and that was the one that passed through. Nothing else would pass through unless it was named profile based on the bug in the code. So that's where we're at. You click on start, and it'll go ahead and it'll grab that image, which it already has. So it doesn't have to download. It goes a lot faster. And you'll see we'll get this standard Jupyter. This is the standard Jupyter lab, thing. If we go back and log out of that one, or get back to the hub control panel, we could do stop my server. It's funny because we didn't add another one with a different name. I mean, this thing is kind of quirky, but we're just going to keep it as is. I don't want to mess with it unless somebody forces us to. It's really quirky. It doesn't work. But it's not my job to rewrite JupyterHub. So add new server. So we're going to go down here. Let's just say start my server, right? So if we just had one server. So now if I change the server type and I put, it's letting me pull it down because I typed those things in already. Don't be mistaken. That's not a menu. So I can change it to whatever, right? If I click on start now, it'll start up with the same persistence that I had before. Even though I'm pretty sure I deleted everything, so I don't have any persistence right now. And now it's going to be a different image. So now we have an image that's got all of this stuff on it. I do find it interesting that it has associated PVC with the image. That is extremely interesting. That's the first time I noticed that before. That is really interesting. I have to look at this much more closely. Oh, this is the other one now. Open tabs, launcher, kernels, terminals. Oh, I was just clicked on the wrong thing. Okay. What I'm trying to show you here is, watch this. Okay, so this is an important JupyterHub thing. So this is running the data science image, which has Julian R on it. And the other one is the base image, doesn't have any of that, right? So you can know that by going to the terminal console and seeing all this stuff. I actually have this. This is still using PVC in my cluster, so I configured the terminal just to see how cool I could make the terminal if I wanted to get it, if I wanted to it won't do fishies though. I tried. Just don't do it. Tried it. SL won't do T-matrix, right? But it is a great console that you can have. But what I want to show you is that the exact same persistent files and account configuration are there because of the persistent volume mounts and persistent volume claims that are set up to do this. So if I go back here and I stop my server, so this is the default, I only want one server. I think we have the current max server set to 2 right now. I actually hit that bump the other day. Click on start. So let's go ahead and start a server. If I start as the server again, but this time I say, hey, I want a different image, it'll open the same account with the same, home directory and the same, scripts and repos directory that I added before. Because why? Because that information was added to the backend Kubernetes persistent volume. So it applies to no matter what image I use. So whatever image I use, I can have the same home directory across all images. This is a particularly valuable thing for a lot of enterprises, I imagine, because this allows people to make customizations and things and be able to experiment with any number of images without losing their profile. The profile, it persists across different images. So let's say you have an image that's for a different thing. Well, you're still going to use your home directory. So this method, including even the console here. So this is a significant benefit for an enterprise or a large organization that wants to provide access to data science tools, Python tools, you can go in here, as well as to a fully functional, persistent Linux terminal. Because this terminal is 100% Linux. You don't have root, but you can install stuff under your own home account, and it's also possible you can mount shared network attached storage at some point. We're not going to pursue that right now at work because there's other reasons related to GPFS that may or may not make that something that we could actually keep going forward. But we do know that having the ability to log into any number of images, and in this case, we're adding the ability to log into hundreds of different possible images and still keep your same home directory. That's a big thing. Not to mention the fact that you might want to git pull, something into your PVC so that notebook is available everywhere. And that's probably going to be enough for most users, we're guessing. So we made a lot of real serious progress here over the last couple of days. I'm super happy. I can't wait to show it off. And the next phase today is going to be in the next hour and 30 minutes or so. It's going to be to add, we're going to be adding, I got to check my YouTube here. Just give me a second. Yep. Okay. So we're going to be adding, we're going to be adding more to the image selection page. So this page over here, the help control panel, we're going to go here, stop my server. So when you do start server and it gives you this page, it's not done stopping. There's a zombie situation you can have going here if you're not careful. So launch server. And this page needs to obviously improve, right? And this is all HTML that is written and embedded inside of your configuration file. Now, I do not intend to do web development in YAML inside of Python. That is a bad idea. So you're going to actually, for the next 30 minutes or so, you're going to see me doing straight up web development that has nothing to do with JupyterHub that I will then copy and paste into JupyterHub. And so this is going to be interesting because people haven't seen me do web development very much. I'm going to be doing a lot of it today. So the way that I do web development, let me just start by talking about how I set up my web development environments locally. So I'm going to make a directory here. I'll call it form, or form mock. Let's just call it form, cd into the form. And so I am going to be cutting and pasting the code from this form into my form. And I'm going to practice submitting the form using tools that I have to mirror back the values, etc. I don't really have to mirror back the various values very much though, because why? Because I'm just using one field, but still. So let's go see where our form is. We're going to be putting some JavaScript in here and other stuff, and I'll just copy and paste it into the script when I'm finally done. So the body, navbar, container. I should probably inspect elements faster. I'm sorry you can't read this, it's kind of small. So here we go. So all of this division, it uses Bootstrap to position itself. I'm not going to put any of that in here. I'm just not. I'm going to actually use CSS. Probably, well, we'll see what we end up using. I have no idea. I mean, we could do so many different ways, so I don't want to be married to one just by saying it right now. But we can, I mean, you can do actual forms. Why isn't it letting me pick them all? I'm gonna have to do HTML. Yeah, I was afraid of that. There we go. So copy, paste. So I'll just do index.html. It doesn't really matter though. Yeah. and just paste this in here. And we're going to have to do some HTML for this. And I am going to be a stickler with formatting, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll come back and we'll be cleaning all this up. The divs for the feedback widgets and stuff. Okay, so actually this part is begin section to paste into what is it called? I forget the value name. This code, just so you know, this code is all going to go into here. It's going to go into the Cube Spawner options form. Okay, so that's where that's going. Combination of Angular and React? Fuck no. Over my dead body. That'd be a perfect example of what not to do. So okay, so end cut. Why would I use Vue or any of that? I just need fucking HTML and JavaScript. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but that's not relevant. None of that is relevant. So, all right, so we're gonna put this here, and what else we got? So this stuff is all actually put in here by default. I don't get to change that. That's added by the system. So they get offended what? To not use Ember or Vue? It's because they don't have any fucking idea what they're doing. I have very few front-end web developers know what the fuck they're doing. They think everything needs to be overly complicated web interfaces, and that's not true. It's not true. Not all, but I'm so tired of running into web devs that way. I probably was that way when I was younger. I refuse. So I don't know why all this shit is here, but I kind of want to keep it for a consistent look and feel. I don't really need it though. Actually, the classes and the spinner shit are not going to appear. I mean, I could try to do this. I could try to simulate. Now, this is all Bootstrap stuff. I'm not doing this. I don't need any of that. I just need a fucking form. That's it. That's it. I don't need any of it. So I just need a way to submit the form. This is all this other stuff is overkill. I don't even need to tell it type multi-port form data. You don't need that anymore. I don't know who the fuck thinks you still need to pass all this shit, but you don't. So I'm going to keep it though, because it might cause a bug to happen that's consistent. I don't know. Maybe that's the reason the profile stuff's not getting passed properly. I don't know. We're going to see. This is telling you the action to run. We're not going to do the action. The action, but if the action is empty, it just runs the same URL. So it'll just send it to itself. And that's not a problem. So in fact, we could probably code this and code it back in really quick. ID equals spawn form. We need that. Action can go away. Method equals post has to stay the same, even though I think we could probably change it to query. We don't have the ability to change it though. So, and this whole role form shit, we don't need that for anything. I don't know why that's there, but we're going to keep it. So, all right. So we need to send this thing, and we need the basics of HTML here. I'm just putting the basics here. You don't actually, but HTML5 doesn't require any of that stuff. Did you know that? Most people don't know that. I mean, web developers will see me do this and they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you did that." And I'm like, that's 100% HTML5. 100%. I'll read you the line from the specification that says none of these values are required or even recommended. It's true. It's true. Now, I make sure beginners learn that stuff, but they don't need it. The one you actually do need, if you're going to do that, is the HTML5. What is it? HTML. Oh my God, I can't believe I can't remember my web. It's been so fucking long. Doc type. Doc type HTML. That's the only mandatory tag if you're going to do HTML5. So, okay, you're like, well, what about this? What can this thing do? let's go into it for a second. So I'm actually just going to use browser sync to preview it. Do I have a preview? Yeah. And preview will open up a web browser and open the form automatically. Pretty cool, huh? See that? Cannot post slash. Just send it. I doubt a front-end dev has ever read the HTML5 spec. It's probably fair. So here is the preview command. It's watching the files in there. Anytime there's any change to any file, it shows me the new file. The only problem with this is that it doesn't give us, it doesn't send us the response. This is browser sync. Browser sync is a phenomenal tool for this kind of thing. I do have another tool called serve, which I might have to go find instead. I don't know if I have it on this machine, but it actually mirrors back to your values, and that's why I want to go look at it. This is written in Go. It's actually, I did a video on it called Write a Server in Go. If you want, it's really great for that kind of stuff. Very tiny server. So here we go. It's, oops, build. I think I already have the bin. Actually, let's do go install. Yep, which serve. All right, so now I have my serve command installed, and I can use serve instead. Serve does a little bit differently. So serve will send up the file, continue, but site can't be reached. I think I might have done it at the wrong, oh, it's the wrong URL. I think serve does 8080 by default. Yeah, if I remember right. 80, I think it's 8080 or 8000, I can't remember. Yeah, there you go. So if you put something here now, and then you submit the form, see what it does? It puts the values that were submitted, and it mirrors them back to you. So you can go over here, and you can like try it, and then do another one, and have it reveal pass the values. You're greater than 3,000. Where's your bootstrap submit button? Fuck that. So yeah, we definitely should have a submit button on here. I'm just pressing enter, which is doing that. I have a feeling that it's not being parsed properly because we're using post method, because it might be because of multi-part form data. That might be the reason too. It doesn't matter, because what we need to do is see what value comes out of there. So let me go see if I can look at this for a second. Look at the code here. We can always, look at this. This is 34 lines. You can write a server. You can write an HTTP server and Go in 34 lines of code. It's like not even hard. So, get over it. Oh, that was fantastic. Thank you for that, gifting those tier 1 subs. That was very nice. Thank you, Nat. Appreciate you doing that. All right, so here, this is how you write a server in Go. If you want this repo, let me give it to you. So, giver serve, it's called, and it's a tiny little. We have a couple people on YouTube, one person, so I'll paste it there. Give me a sec. So it's just a tiny little minimal server. People ask me all the time, which framework should I use to write my stuff? No fucking framework. Just use the HTTP library. It's totally fine. It already has the muxer and everything in it. So, you don't need it. So you can write this. You just have to serve your form. It will break up the form and automatically parses the form. In my case, and then if its method equals post, which it is in this case, it'll serve the form instead, and it'll break it down. So this is where it parses the form apart, and then it shows you all the properties of the form. In this particular case, it's not showing me all the properties though, so I'm wondering why the properties aren't getting conveyed. Probably because of something I did. I don't know. We'll have to go see. But if you wanted to, you could just sit. I can sit here and mess with this as I want to. But here we have input name equals form. Now we didn't click on submit, so maybe we're just reloading the form instead. That might be what's happening. So let's go ahead and add a submit button. Was it input type equals submit? Fuck you and your quotes. I don't need them. And so let's try that. And I'll have to go back here. And my serve function is needs to be, the browser sync is so smart, it detects changes and reloads, but this isn't. So we click on submit and it's empty. Cancel form submission. Just come back here, blah, 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 submit. It doesn't seem to be getting the profile for some reason, and I have to figure out why that is. Maybe it's because of the value. Name equals profile, value equals something. That should be the default value, right? Yeah, submit. Yeah, that it did the default value. I don't think it's getting parsed apart properly, to tell you the truth. Either that or the multi-part data is getting in the way. So let's try a couple things here. I'm going to get rid of spawn form. I'm going to get rid of role equals form. Just method equals post. And see what happens there. Reload that. Continue. Actually, no. Something. Submit. There we go. So the multi-part form data was screwing it up. That's interesting. I think I might have just identified the problem with the profile field. You guys remember that from yesterday? I think that multi-part form data was the problem. And we can't change that. That's interesting. That's interesting. That's really interesting because that would have been part number 1. We'll have to look at that when we get closer into it because there's no, what we really need to be able to do is reflect back the value. Let me show you what I mean. So like when we go, cause I just got rid of, there's something, my parser, which is a very simple parser, which just takes form data, posted form data and splits it and does the right thing, worked. It worked. See how it worked? But it didn't work when I had the other stuff in here. When I had multi-part form data, it didn't work. Which makes me think that one of two things is happening. Either I'm accessing the wrong field, or those other fields are under a different part and they're being, because it says multi-part form data, right? So it's possible that there's other, when you do multi-part form data, it splits multiple things that come in. There's like the form data at the top and then there's like stuff between it. But I don't know. See, it says multi-part form data. I think this is a mistake. It says what encoding type are you using? Multi-part form data, right? But multi-part form data is supposed to be the default. So it could either be that or it could be the ID spawn form. Maybe that's the problem. I'm going to add these pieces back one at a time because we might be getting a clue here about what's going on with this one having to be profile. But that might be a clue. And I know that's kind of a lot to follow, but so let's go back to here and reload. Reload this. Something. Yeah, see that? That's definitely it. Shit. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Because that's very interesting. See here? The whole thing we struggled with yesterday is that we had to name the option profile. And this thing is what's parsing all the form data, right? And it parses out the form data profile into its first item. But that's assuming it's the form data. Huh. I'm gonna chalk this up to a bug in the simplicity of the serve module and not that, because this is right. This is right. You get form data. You don't get more than one set of form data. That form data is a map and it has items, and you can have multiple items. You can have I can have profile equals whatever, and if I have it twice, it'll add one on. It kind of combines them into an array. No. In this case, I'm going to say that my server parsing routine is probably too simplified because it's just using the go simple one. multi-part form data is messing up my server data. That's my best guess, because this says parse form, right? So that's parsing all the form data, but it's not working because the form data coming in isn't encrypted, is in a multi-part form method. So the Marshall indent RDUP form isn't working. It's empty. And that I'm going to suggest that that's probably because it's not using a generic post, which I have no fucking idea why it isn't. It should not have to define the enc type. It doesn't have to do that. It's just bad coding on the part of the JupyterHub people. I'm sorry. You do not watch. Let me read it to you. Do I need to include? It's like people wrote this shit like years ago and they still using the old methods. That's not what I wanted. Include enc type in form attributes. So HTML form enc type attribute specifies the form data should be encoded and submitted to the server. Yeah, application XWW form URL encoded. Multi-part form data mean. Actually says the form data should be encoded when submitting to the server. Multi-part form data is one of the many values of enc type, which is used in form element that usually this is when you have a post form which needs to take a file upload, and there's no file upload. This is why I'm pissed off that they did this. What? Someone thinks. I mean, seriously, do you see any opportunity for us to upload a fucking image here? No. The people who wrote this form don't know web design and development. Bottom line, there's no reason to confuse shit with multi-part form data. There's no reason to do that. The only reason to do that is if you have a file type element that is going to take a file upload. It's the only reason, and maybe more. You could do like 2 or 3 files at the same time, and those all come up. And if you've ever seen one, it looks like an email. If you were to look at the raw guts of an email, it has the headers, and then it has multiple sections. The top part is the form encoded URL stuff from the form, and then it has a big long divider with like crazy things and that are unique, and then it has all of the parts as the binary UU encoded data for each file that was uploaded, and then you split that form data so that you can have multiple files in one submission. That's what multi-part form data is. Binary and text data. The only reason to use that is when you're mixing binary. Does it look like we're mixing this here? Fuck no. There's no file upload going on. There's no mixing of form data. So why the fuck did they force it to be multi-part form data and break my server processor that deals with simple form data? Why? Because they don't fucking know better. Because they're probably using some shit that automatically injects it in the middle of it. You guys wonder why I get so mad at frameworks and things that just do shit magically. That's why. Because this is broken. This is broken with a capital B. It's broken. And it shouldn't be that way. So, and it just bit me because so it's like, fine, I'm just going to use a regular post and it's going to work. And sure enough, it worked. So, this entire exploration of this JupyterHub software has been bug after bug after bug after bug. It's been uncovering shitty coding over and over and over again as we go through it. And I wish it weren't. I wish there were some more things in there, but it's not. I mean, the whole profile thing the limitation is completely asinine. So whatever. Dude, I could go in and submit all these changes through this open source project in Fossil, and I would be contributing to the JupyterHub project for the next year before it was anything worth doing. It would probably be better for me to rewrite all of JupyterHub in Go or something, but that doesn't make sense because they just want to run Python in a web browser, and I really don't give a shit about doing that. So you won't see me doing it. Kubernetes is fucked too. In some sense, Kubernetes is fucked, but not in this case. Now, it wasn't Kubernetes. I don't think I've ever granted about Kubernetes on this project. So far, Kubernetes hasn't burned us on this project. Helm has burned us a couple times, but not Kubernetes. Kubernetes is innocent so far. But so yeah. You're confused. I'm sorry. So the problem is because whoever did this, whoever put the enc type multi-part form JSON into the spawn form is a dummy. Not a dummy. They're inexperienced, or There's no fucking reason to do that. The only reason to do that is to submit binary data. Maybe are they honestly? Did they want to make it so that people could submit their own images, or maybe they could submit their own pictures? Maybe they wanted something like that. I don't know. Maybe that's what they wanted to anticipate. And so they said, fine, you can submit whatever you want here. If you want to make a file, maybe there's somebody who's doing that. Maybe there's somebody who's submitting like a JSON or a YAML file that has the profile in it. Let me think about that. IE? No, it doesn't have anything to do with IE. Yeah. It's no, the way it's being submitted. This is related to how it's getting submitted to JupyterHub. Yeah. What I'm right now, I'm racking my brain about why they would want to include the default for this form submission to allow people to submit binary data and form and files and stuff, in addition to just typing in and clicking on shit, menus and stuff. Why would they allow that? I'm wondering if someone out there has implemented a form. I know it's tiny, but I wonder if somebody has actually implemented one of these that accepts a JSON file that is a description of the image profile. You see what I'm saying? Because that's I wasn't planning on doing that, but that's definitely something you could do. The problem with that is then your end users would have to have a copy of a file that describes the image, and that's a lot of extra work for them to do, but you could do it. You could do it. You could even have them submit an actual container image through the web interface. The way this is written, we could jam an entire Docker container image in the upload. I don't know where it would put it. That'd be crazy. I wonder where it would do it. I don't really care to know, actually. I'm really racking my brain about why they would do that. It's not needed. No, I'm not doing that. I bet you that's why they did it, though. I don't have any proof of this, but based on the developer quality of the JupyterHub project so far, as I've been reading through it, I don't doubt for a second that somebody said, but I want to be able to upload an image. and so that's left over there. Either that, or they're using some generic form widget from Bootstrap or some shit, and it's just adding it automatically, and it's just ancient and it's bad. I mean, it shouldn't be a problem. It's obviously not a problem. So, anyway, what time is it? I only have an hour left. Okay, so why am I doing this? I need to get that form data. I need to put some pretty interesting things in the form data. So I'm going to be writing some JavaScript here, and I'm probably going to just inline the JavaScript, which is going to be required because this entire section right here is going to be cut and paste into my YAML, because you can't indicate a file, which is completely fucking brain dead, but oh well. I can't start ranting about that. I'll never stop. All right, so let's do this. So we can put under script, we could put, well, we need to put some other input fields. So we have, what are the other fields? Let's just throw them out here. So we have, yeah, oh, here's something cool. Watch this. If I name them both profile, yeah. I'm gonna clear out this value. This is a default value. We don't want that. If I make this another profile, watch this. This is crazy shit ever. I don't like that this works, but it does. Watch. You see what it did? I have to zoom in on that, like a lot. All right, so continue. What did it do? You guys notice? So here's my form, my super ugly form, right? I can do foo. This is why we missed it yesterday, because we didn't look for the first item. If you submit two, so let me remind you of the source. This is two input fields, both with the same name, which is totally okay. And if you do it and you submit it, the specification says that the first item encountered will be the first item in the input, and the second item will be the second. So you realize what we can do with that, right? there's two ways to go about doing what we're doing, and this is actually the simpler of the ways. The problem is that we would have to, it's just like with any function signature, we would be locked into the order. We couldn't do a key value pair combo if we wanted to do that, right? But the really cool thing about that is that this is built into the method. Now, the seriously dangerous thing here is that it goes by the order that it's encountered. So we don't want to do that, right? We really don't. So what we're going to end up doing, we're going to submit something that's called name equals profile, but we're going to make that hidden. So we're going to say input type equals hidden, name equals profile, because that's the only thing we can pass. The only reason I'm doing that is because of the fucking bug in JupyterHub that, as far as I know, please tell me it's not a bug, but right now it seems to be. So then we have here, we can have name, we can say cores, and here we can have name equals RAM, and we're just using text fields for now, but we can use labels and all that shit later. This is why we're doing it this way, so we can clean everything up. Cores, what else do we have? GPUs and GPU type. GPU type, and we're gonna use an underscore there. And we could just use GPU type. I guess that's fine. I don't like separating things up if I can get away with it. So by saving that, we can go over here and go back and reload. And now we have all of these different fields. So here is, let's see, we need an image too, right? So we need an image name. So image, again, we're just starting with the simplest of forms. Image name for 2 cores, 1 GPU, default. And then when I click submit, you get this. You get cores, but you see how it's an item? That's why we're doing this. Because remember, you can have multiple values of it, right? And profile doesn't have a value there. So what the goal of this is to get rid of all this other stuff and then cram it all into the profile field because reasons, right? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to write the script to do that, and then we'll make the form look pretty. So the script itself has got to say, I want to take on submit, I want to take all those values and put them together. Now, there's a lot of ways that we could do this. We could make it dynamically change the value of profile anytime any of these things changes. Might be the way to go. Or we could make it, instead of doing type equals submit, we could do on submit, right? If we were going to do this so that it would be usable from, well, we can't. We simply cannot make the way we're doing this not depend on JavaScript, unfortunately. And that's because of the bug or the limitation of JupyterHub. Because it doesn't allow us to indicate multiple things like this. I wish it did. It says it does. It says it does, but it doesn't so far. So I hope I'm so wrong. I hope I just have to eat all those words. I really do. So for right now, we have to cram it all into there. I'm going to go ahead and make an event. I'm going to do a full-blown document on update event. I'm going to trap any event that updates anything in the form. Okay, so there's 2 ways to do this. One of them could be to map changes to the form and to all children. Another one could be to make a generic handler that says anything at all that happens here, run it through this handler, and then that could be for your entire document. Those are the 2 acceptable ways to do this. And I'm going to search for the simplest one. It's probably going to be form on change. But I have to go look all this stuff up because it's been forever since I did it. JavaScript on change of form. So we're going to write an event handler for whenever the form is changed. JavaScript entire form on change. So Stack Exchange says you can use change event on the form element. Oh, nice. Is it any change event? Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so yeah, we'll just do a document query select. We're not using fucking var though. I refuse. So let form equal document dot query selector. I don't think it's updated anymore, is it? I don't think it is. Nope. This is the new query selector. Thank God. Actually, we don't need a query selector. We could just do get by element, which is faster. People don't use it anymore, but it's actually faster. We could do get element by ID as well. Yeah, let's do that because this thing has a name. Its name is spawn underscore form. So let's do get element by ID, which is more precise. Element by ID, and we'll do spawn form. That means I have to give it the ID, but that's what it has in our mockup. So spawn form method equals post. Method equals post is method equals get is the default, so that actually does have to be indicated. Spawn form. Yep. Okay. So, and just for fun, let's we can spew this if we really wanted to. You know, let's put our script at the end. I can do some fancy stuff with it so that it loads at the end, but I'm not. I'm going to go ahead and put it down here instead. So actually, I think I might have to do that. Yeah, I think it's async, right? There's something you add to the script tag that makes it async now. Script tag, async, real world dev, work peeps. HTML sync is an attribute set. Script is async attribute is only for external scripts and should only be used if the source attribute is no. I don't want it. I think defer. I think defer is the one that's new. Async and defer for the. I have a couple of questions about this script. Only work in HTML5 browsers. I'm a little bit afraid because the form hasn't been created yet. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I think I actually need to add defer. I think because here's the trick I'm running into. We want this script to load, but I can't write it after the form because this is a snippet that's going in some other configuration. So I have to force the script to run so that it sees the form. We're going to find out. I'm actually going to test it right now. We're going to say console.log. We'll just log the form itself, which is an object, which will show up in my console. So we go over here, go back here, and just fill in some stuff. Submit, inspect element, and we should see the console should have something on it. Unchecked runtime last error. The message port closed before a response was received. That's not good. No, wait. Let me try something. Reload. Yeah, I don't think it's registering anything. Well, no, we didn't do an onChange event yet. Let's try that. Let's do an onChange event. Form dot onChange equals we could do, well, this is the event, so we don't really need it though. And we'll do fat arrow function, which I love. Some people don't like them. I love them. Let me try that. Reload. No, it's not loading at all. Uncut type error. Delta ID is not a function. Oh, did I spell it wrong? Get element by ID. Shit. Document dot get element. This is the way. Oh, by ID. And then spawn form. Yep. All right. Something's wrong here. Did I do it wrong? document.get element. Oh, it's lowercase get. Fuck, it's not go. It's not go. I feel so embarrassed by that. Runtime last error. The message port closed before the response. Okay, that's probably okay. Yep, there it is. See it? So it's running our events. That's actually really good news. That's really good news. I was afraid it wasn't going to do that. So you can actually print the event if you want. I won't lie. I like raw web development. Sometimes it's fun. I don't always like it, but when you have to use it, it's sort of fun every once in a while. So there we go. Look at all those events. It printed all the events every time we clicked. Import an event and it had our input path. All right. So why are we doing that? So what we're going to do is we're going to populate profile. We're going to make profile equal something every time, and I'm going to do this with a function. So we're going to say form dot child 1 or value 1 or whatever. I could either get the value from the form, or I could do it get element by ID for profile. Probably better to get it as a child element of the form. So let's do that. So the way to do that is inspect the form, and we'll see the hidden element profile, right? So this is fascinating. Wait, how to hack it? So we've got the on change here, and so here's our events. We've got the type hidden profile. So we already have it. I can actually add it dynamically to the form through the JavaScript, but I like doing it this way. So if somebody looks at the source code and JavaScript's broken, they'll at least know what's going on. So there's our section. Here's a little script that's running, and what we need to do here is I need to inspect. Actually, no. Let me do this. Let me do document dot get element by ID spawn form. I need to get a handle on the spawn form, and that will give us a caret. I know this is like hard to see. Let me see if I can improve that for you. But so here we are. We got our form right here, and then here's the highlights. And I fetched it into the console, which is a really great way to learn. One of the reasons JavaScript is hands down the best beginner language if you're dealing with really young people, because every single web browser is built with a full-blown IDE for JavaScript. They can go in there. It can actually write code straight up on the console and do all kinds of stuff. It's very powerful. It's really great for teaching event handling and stuff like that too. So this is still my favorite way to teach development to particularly really young people. But so anyway, we've got all this stuff. This is my form, right? But more importantly, it doesn't show my form children. So what I actually need to do, let me see if I can go up here. You got history and everything. So form equals this, and then I can do form dot. Okay. So this is really cool because this gives you all of it. It's actually easier to do this than read through any documentation. You can immediately go through and see anything you got possible here. You go through here. What do I have here? So all these events that you can handle, all these different things. But what I'm looking at is I'm looking for the children, not the nodes, the children. The children are, the child elements are different than child nodes. It's a long story. But so you can actually change what's in your form by changing in your text, blah, blah, blah. So what I'm looking for, I want to say child element count. So here we go, children. So if I know it's the first child, that'd be good, but I don't know that. So form children, look at this. So here's all of your children. So, and these are child nodes, if you know what a rooted node tree is. You can see our first input type is what? God, look at that. So the first input type, this is the one, this is the profile one, right? So its name is going to be profile. We'll come down here, and here, spawn form. See that? Spawn form. Oh, no, wait. I wonder if the first type is the form itself. It might be. This is what I'm looking for. There it is. Name profile. Okay. So So, I could have just done a query selector and got right to the thing. But since I already query selected the form element, I don't really need to do that. I just have to know how to refer to it. So I need to be able to go to form.children 0. It has to always be 0 if we're going to do this though, right? So there it is, hidden profile. So if there's a reasonable assurance this form's not going to change, and the form is right here, so it better not fucking change. If they change another, if JupyterHub added another input type up there, that might be a problem, right? But I think you can actually get the form name, the form children by name, but I mean that would be the safest way to select. You know what? I might as well do it. The safe, because if they decide to fuck with the form, the exact number will change, and so I don't want to do that. So I can say profile, right? I can say let profile equal document element by ID, right? Only this time I'm going to do query selector. Instead, query selector, and the query selector will be the spawn form. We're going to do hashtag spawn form, and then hashtag profile. All right, let's try that. And that should be it. And then we can actually change the value of profile. So we could say profile dot value equals and we're gonna have to select all the other ones too. Yeah. Yep. Actually I should probably put that. Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to get them all. Yeah, so I have to do that query selector anyway. Because because they might reorder and stuff. Yeah, okay, so that's fine. I'm just gonna test this really quick. So if I do that and I reload this, and I change it, cannot setting value, setting null. Oh, my selector didn't find anything. So I wonder if I can do a select on that. I don't think I can. I think there's actually a JavaScript thing where it says CSS select, but I don't want to do that. I want to do profile. I wonder if it's, I don't even know if I can do that. Because, oh wait, it's not an ID, it doesn't have an ID. That's why. It doesn't have an ID. I'm going to have to give it an ID. Duh. So the ID is different than the name. I forgot. So we're going to have to do ID image. I mean, you can use labels for this too. But yeah, I forgot about that. I mean, for this particular form, this is kind of lazy. There's probably web people out there. If you're a web person, don't be shy. If you know a better way to do this, let me know, because you probably are more connected with what's up. So GPU type, and that's why if I do that, I don't even have to do the rest of the stuff. The query selector ensures that it's a profile within the form. Otherwise, it would maybe not be, so that would be weird. Sexy JavaScript. Runtime last error was received. Okay, so it looks like it's doing it. It's just not printing anything, right? And the only way we're going to know that is this document.get element by ID profile. And it's, see the value is something now, right? So we've been building up this hidden value to add some Redux shit. Yeah, no, we're not doing Redux right now. No. So you can see what I'm going to do with this, right? So we're going to be getting, I wish I didn't have to do the multiple select thing here. I wish I didn't. I wish I could reliably depend on a named map ID for the form. You know what? Let me try one other thing. So I'm going to go look at the value of the form and see if there's something else in there that's more useful that we can get that might have all of that in there. And by the way, it's almost impossible to memorize this shit. So sometimes it's better to just do what I'm doing now. You do form dot And then we just go looking for everything, right? So we have the form elements. We have the form children. We know about that. What I'm looking for is if we have like a map, like a form.map. I don't know. So I'm just looking. Content, data set. Ooh, what's that about? What is that about? What is this about? What the hell is this? Has property local to string. That doesn't look like anything, actually. It's completely empty. Color, get proto. So much shit in there that's unnecessary. Well, that's not very useful. All right. Form dot data set name. We got that. Method length. We got all that. Ink type. We're not doing. Encoding. Actually, I wonder what the default ink type is. I bet you anything it's not multi-part. I bet it's URL encoded. www form URL encoded. Ah, that's why. All right. So, form dot. All right. Request submit target assess keys attach internals. I'm looking for a map of all the form data values. I don't know if it exists. It didn't exist when I was doing this stuff before. Offset parent. And these are all the null event handlers callbacks. So you can assign a function and it will run on any of these events. That's what we're doing with the form thing. We don't need any of those, but isn't that cool? I mean, there's a lot of events. One of the coolest things about JavaScript and web development is teaching people about event-based programming because it's so easy to do. You just assign an anonymous function, which you can't do in Python because you can't have anonymous functions. Don't tell me lambdas are anonymous functions or not. And so, yeah, and then anyway, title, translate, after, animate, append, ARIA. This is all of the, this is all of the accessibility stuff. So attributes, no, those are the key value pairs in the opening form tag. Event target value, that has to be the thing that was clicked on. Yeah. Child element count, children class list, class name, class height. I don't think that they're key value mapped. Computed style map. No. Is iteration over the children and filter faster than query selectors? Yeah, it might be, Maluba. That's what I'm trying to say. I think there's a part of me that really doesn't want to throw away that thing, right? But those fetches are like fast. It's kind of sloppy though. I don't like them. It feels hacky to me. That's what I'm saying. I think I was hoping they already mapped them. If they already mapped the form data to a map, then great. If they don't, I'll go ahead and do it, right? The fact of the matter is we could do it to all the form data generically. We don't have to even have key value pairs. We could do that for the entire. I wish there was a form data thing. I wonder if it would accept the method equals, because if we did method equals get, it would automatically make it into a query string automatically. And then we wouldn't have to do any of this. The query string would take care of it. And we would just jack the query string and stuff it into profile and a post. But I don't think that's going to do that. The reason this is interesting, people, is because we're hacking some stuff that normally we shouldn't have to do because of seems to be a bug in the JupyterHub stuff. Matches, what's that? No, that's just a on before copy. Got more. Query selector, all. Remove attribute. Replace children. Scroll. Set attribute, NS no. Tag name. Append child. How's it going? Contains first child, get root node. But this is, if you want to know why it's so important to learn to graph and root and node tree structures, this is why. Because this is a perfect example of a very significant rooted node tree. Node name, vet normalize, owner, document, parent element. A prototype of two string data set and children. We found out these were nothing, right? Yeah. All right. I guess we're just going to iterate. I mean, I might as well iterate. I don't need to do all the query skits. We can just iterate over the form. So let's do that. I like the iterating over the form. If we're going to do this right, we should. Do you want to do a filter instead of iterating with a for loop? Using a for loop in JavaScript is like not idiomatic. I'm not really good with the map format of iteration like they do though. So they do something like this. They would do something like children. Yeah, I mean, we do a children loop with a case statement. Well, 1 equals 1. No. No. Do you know about this? Yeah. Children dot for each. And then you put your function in here. Do you use that one? New apartment. Whoa. So you can put an anonymous function here. So it'd be like console.log. See, I wonder if that'll even work. Let's try. Yeah. So is it? Oh, okay. Uncut reference children is not defined. Oh, did I put children? Form.children. I mean, it's pretty fast iteration though here. For each is not a function. Did they get rid of for each? As a thing for each? I don't think that's it. I got it wrong. I got it wrong somehow. I don't remember what it is. Here, let me try. I can actually do it. Here, watch. I can do... This is crazy. I can do this. I can do form dot children dot for each. I'm forgetting how to do my for each. Is it map or index? What the fuck is it? Do you guys remember? I don't remember it. I gotta go look it up. But it's more idiomatic to do that than to. Is it map? All right, so map iteration over or map filter reduce. It's either map filter or reduce, and I can't remember which one it is. Over an array in JavaScript. This is like noob stuff, so I'm smiling because all the web devs are laughing their ass off at me right now. It is map. You had to use map. Yeah, it is. It's map. Okay. Any web dev with his salt would be laughing right now at me. So, no children map. Shit. Oh, come on. I know it's something like that. Maybe it's not an actual list. Maybe we'd have to cast it. For each, from the classic for loop to the for each method. That's what I used a long time ago. One of those popular methods is the map method. An array from calling a specific function on each item in the parent array. Is a non-mutating method. Yep. Wait, does it have to, you have to have Node.js? Yeah, wait, is this for the tutorial? Map accepts the callback function. That's what I just did. I just did that. It didn't work. It didn't work. I defy you. It did not work. It didn't work. Form dot children. I wonder if it's because children is not map. And we need a function. So console. That must mean children is not a. I mean, we could just use for. I know we could use for too. What type does children have? Children is supposed to be an array. Yeah. Children. Dot. Is it type? What is it? It's What is it? How do you get its type? I mean, I know this is for length. It has 8 items. Did you form the children? I did. All right, replace children. Is it type of? It goes on the outside of it though, right? It's an array. I'm pretty sure it's an array. Oh, it's an object. That's why. Okay, that's why it's not working. That's why it's not working, because it's not an array. Yeah, we have to cast it to an array. I think we can do that with the cast. Can we? Oh, I don't remember. How do you cast? Can you cast in JavaScript? I don't think you can. That's what I just did. Oh, is it values? It's values. It is values. It's values. Thank you. That makes total sense. All right, so dot values. Still not working. Cannot read map. I don't want to use for each. Are you going to make me use for each? I want to use map. For each. Nope. Got to think in chaos. I know. There's like this. I'm trying to do this. Look, I don't want to do it the lame way. You can do, what is it? I think it's actually for each. No, isn't it? It's not. It's for. I do for the. How to kill a parent with a fork. Lol. Yeah. Sweet array.map. Sweet item. You don't even need that. You don't need that bracket there. Object values is the thing. Oh, well, I see what you're saying. So we would have to do. I know there's a better way to do this using modern JavaScript. I know there is, and that's what's driving me nuts, because I want to do that way, even if it takes me longer to learn it. Because it's driving me nuts, because I absolutely know there is. Dot map. And then we can just do E goes to whatever. It worked. Object.values. Is there an easier way though? I don't want to do for. I know for of is a thing. I know. Yeah. I don't even know if for of is going to work here, because it's a form, right? For k comma v. Whoops. For k comma v of form dot children console dot log v. Nope, invalid left hand. I did the thing that I don't like anyone else to do. Okay, v. Is it? I thought it was in. Oh, it is of, right? Yeah, for kv. For constant kv of form objects entries for children. Yeah, I think this is fine. I mean, this is fine. I'm gonna use that. It's fine. Yeah, suffice it to say, looping is not obvious. event finally helped. Object values form children.map console log. So actually, no, we're going to do this, by the way, is not you. We want to make that the child. So make it the value, I guess. The problem is we want to know what the name is. So yeah. So what do we want to do? Every time that changes, we want to add the value onto the end of the key. No. It's going to be the child, and then we're going to have to get the child values. This is where nesting hell starts to happen. This is why people are doing other things now. E's not a node. E's an event. This is an event, and this is a child node. This is a child. We could do a child if we wanted. Yeah. Yeah. So console log. So actually, let's just try this. So we do ch dot name and see what happens. So we reload this. There, did it. It did it. It did it. All right. Now we can actually add the values. So we can say, I want to combine them all together. So then we set, actually we can just reset profile. At the beginning we can say form, fuck. I don't know. It's not named. If it were named, I would delete it. And if we do this, we have to make sure that the first form element is always this. And I don't know if we can make sure that's true. Okay, so yeah. So if we did that, we're gonna have to do. Let's do that. Because we're gonna zero it out, right? So every time anything changes, we're gonna zero it out. We're gonna say form dot. So this is what we'll say. Ch dot name equals profile and next continue. Oh no, return. No. Return. Yep. That's an early return. Because it's this thing. So that causes it to skip it. Let me say form dot profile. No, form dot children, assuming it's there. Children 0. Dot name. No, dot value equals empty. Otherwise, we're going to add all our stuff to it. So we're going to say, now we can't get a reference to it. We have to keep typing out the big long thing, unfortunately. 0 dot value plus equals ch dot name. We're going to have to add key value pairs later. Don't worry. But for right now, and then just for grins, we should, after we finish doing that, we should actually console log it, just so we can see it. Console log form.children 0. We'll just print out the whole thing. All right, refresh. Boop-a-doo, boop-a-doo, ba-doo, ba-doo. Doesn't seem like it's working. Last error, the message port closed. Unexpected token return. I don't know if I can actually do short circuit logic in JavaScript. I don't know if I can. Oh, I know what it is. You could use a ternary. Students are worse. If this equals this, just return. It's the same thing. I mean, it's not gonna. It wouldn't pass a linter, but look, it's working. It's actually adding the name though. So yeah, we don't want that. We want to add the value, right? So we wanted to add the name, the key value pair. So we went to the name equals. Now this is where we could use. Can we use f things? I think we can. I think we can. You guys know about f strings? Tell me you know about f strings. I need to practice my JavaScript later. Oh, see. I didn't do it. That means it's not supported. Oh, you had to put F in front, right? No, you had to put, is it T in front or F? No, Python is F. Am I mixing my things up? Oh, I think it's 2. Is it 2 or 1? It's 1, right? String literals is what they're called. JavaScript string literals. Oh, it has a $sign, of course. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Has a $sign. Derp. Derp. I'm derpy. Feeling derpy today. Yes, thank you. Is it interpolated? Yeah. Boop-a-doo, boop-a-doo. So image equals block, cores equals that. All right. So then what? Actually, we could do something else. We could just query string the whole fucking thing, and then convert it into a map. So we could build a map and then create a query string out of the map. I think that's the way to go, because that way, whatever the values are, they'll be interpreted. How do you do query string? I don't remember what it is. Create a query string from JavaScript, from like normal JavaScript. I don't want to have to do all the escaping. I know there's a utility for this. Yeah, this is query string and encoding. Super easy. It's a great way to, if you have to pass a whole bunch of key value pairs, it's a really great way to do it in a single string. It's been around since the 90s. The original HTTP spec and everything. So jQuery has a thing, of course. Without jQuery, encode URI component, query equals keys params, submit, map. Oh, escape. So there is a, there you go. That's what I was looking for. I was looking for escape. Yeah. I was looking for the escape. Yeah. So yeah. There you go. Object keys, params, map. Yep, that's what I want. That's exactly what I want. Interesting. Yeah, that code is literally what I want. I don't give a shit. I'm not even proud. I'm not even proud. I'm going to copy it. That is exactly what I want. So we can actually go up here and do it. So we want, yeah, actually we can do that. Hell, we can do that in one command. Fuck yeah. Oh, this is awesome. This is awesome. Keys, form dot children dot map. That's going to map the key. It's going to escape it, join it to an equal sign, and then escape the parameter. Yep, that's perfect. Perfect. children K. The problem is it's going to put the word profile in there too again. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. And fuck the semicolon. Fuck you and your semicolon. All right, so that is beautiful. I'm just gonna change the profile. Oh, you found one already? URL search params? Wait, where'd you get that? Oh, URL search params. Params, that's toString. Interesting. I'm on a budget. That is very interesting. That is a super... So what you're doing is you're creating new URL search parameters that's empty, and then you're just appending the keys to it. Interesting. Huh. Super interesting. I mean, this is a kind of an old school way to do it, but they'll both work. Yep. That's nice. Escape is not defined. What the fuck? Are you telling me I have to write my own escape function? Fuck that. Oh, encode your AI component. That's just a shortcut. Alrighty. I'm not putting fucking var in front of there. Did I do that? Someone shoot me if I did that. Okay, don't you dare put var in anything anymore. Var escape. Let escape. Don't use var. Var kills innocent children. I'm not even kidding. var is the source of all the evil in the universe. Uncut reference children is not defined. Bullshit. Oh. Form.children. That is how it should be. That is the way. It's kind of a joke. Don't freak out and send me hate, whatever the fuck, just because I slammed on var. People get really like discombobulated, all kinds of shit. They really do. Oh wait, does it continue to add new stuff onto it? Or is it just getting longer? HTML input. Obviously this is wrong. So I have definitely made a horrible mistake. Escape K. No ban, please. Just joke. I know. var is sexy. I won't ban you for the thing. I was joking. There's no way on earth that var is sexy, except for really creative ways to fuck yourself. Which is kind of sexy. All right. So form.children K. Okay. You know what I'm talking about. I'm on a budget, knows what I'm talking about. He's been working, or she's, or they've been working with him. So you've been working with var long enough. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's actually one of the key questions on, apparently on, coding interviews. All the reasons var is bad. So form children.value object keys. I have a feeling that this is not iterating properly. Keys up map. What's that? Show me Vegas. Discussion today, we came to the conclusion that every IT guy has to know Docker. You know, I'm glad you had that conclusion because I've been saying that, and that was my conclusion last year. If you'd asked me that question at the beginning of 2021, I would have said, no, that's fine. You can get away with it. I don't think that anymore. I do not. Containers, right. I do not think that anymore. I think containers are mandatory learning these days. I've only got 4 minutes left. Damn it. You guys know what I'm doing though, right? We're on the right path. I'll be finishing this stuff up tomorrow. We'll be doing more JavaScript tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and quit because I got to get ready for a meeting at 3. I'll be back tonight to do whatever. Oh no, tonight 6 to 8 is AMA. So I'll be here to answer noob questions and stuff. I don't know what I'll be working on. Probably just writing boost content during the time. And after that, I'll be playing games. 9 o'clock every night. I'm trying to play at least an hour of Witcher just to keep going on it. And that's what's up. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop right now. Twitch, I'll be keeping the tunes on if you want to tune into that, and you want to chat, all of that. But that's going to be it for me today. This is just trivial stuff for us to fix. This is nothing hard. But you see what the point is, right? Where the point is that we're cramming everything we want into the profile name, so that conveys into our JupyterHub config, which then gets picked up by our kube spawner, and that's what ultimately decides what image is going to be spawned for the user in JupyterHub. That was the goal for today. I feel like we got a long ways to this effort. It's actually kind of fun to do some of this HTML. I'll be doing more of this HTML tomorrow, bright and early. I imagine I'll probably start streaming around 10, probably 10 or 11 latest. So if you want to follow along tomorrow, that's when that'll be. All right, so YouTubers, bye.